Hi there, Mr. Holcomb here with another episode of the Math Behind the Modules. Okay, this lesson is lesson 14, the division algorithm, basically is long division, converting decimal division into whole numbers, division using fractions. Okay, so the opening exercise says divide 1/2 divided by 1/10. Use the tape diagram to support your reason. Okay. So what this is asking is, 1/2 is 1/10 of what number? That's what that means. 1/2 divided by 1/10 means 1/2 is 1/10 of what number? So to do a tape diagram, okay, we have this diagram, and we don't know what its value is. But if I go and call this a half, okay, 1 unit is a half, and this here tells us there are 10 units, and I'm going to do 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So if these are all 1/2, 2 of them are 1. There's another 1. There's another 1. Another 1. Another 1. That's 1. These are all worth 1 because they're 2 halves. So there are 5 of them. So 1/2 is 1/10 of 5. 1/2 divided by 1/10 is 5. Okay, now it says relate the model to the invert and multiply rule. I don't call it invert and multiply it. I just say it's the multiplicative inverse, or I say flip it and switch it in order for the kids to remember. So we're going to do flip it and switch it. So what flip it and switch it means is we're going to take 1/2 divided by 1/10. First thing we're going to do is flip the second number and switch from division to multiplication. The first number stays the same. I'm going to flip the 10 to 10 over 1. That's the reciprocal. I'm going to change the division to multiplication. So flip it and switch it means 1/2 divided by 1/10 is the same as, that is the same as 1/2 times. So 1/2 times 10 over 1, you multiply the numerator times the numerator, and you get 1 times 10, which is 10. Multiply the denominator, which is 2 times 1, which is 2. And 10 divided by 2 is indeed 5. So we get the same answer. Okay? All right, example 1. This says to evaluate the expression, use a tape diagram to support your answer. We've already done the tape diagram. 0.5 is a half. 0.1 is 1/10. I'm not going to do another tape diagram. I will just do this problem. And I'm going to first... It says, so I'm going to skip this part. I'm not going to do a tape diagram again. You want to see a tape diagram? It is right here. It is the same tape diagram. Just we have decimals now instead of fractions. So now it says to rewrite 0.5 divided by 0.1 as a fraction. So what that means is you just simply leave it 0.5. Instead of the division symbol here, we're going to do this bar and put 0.1 underneath. That's all they mean by to rewrite this as a fraction. Okay? Then it says to express the divisor as a whole number. What they mean by that is we're going to multiply by a multiple of 10s. Okay, so to find this, we're going to multiply it by 10 over 10. Okay, so actually let me write that down. So we're going to take that 0.5 divided by 0.1. times 10 over 10. I want this to be a whole number and this to be a whole number, and those are tenths. So we're going to multiply by 10, and that moves the decimal one place to the right. Multiplying a number by 10 moves it one place to the right. Multiplying by 10 moves it one place to the right. We end up with 5 over 1, which is indeed 5. Okay, exercises 1 through 3. They're asking us to convert the decimal division expressions to fractional division expressions, which we just did right here, in order to create whole number divisors. Divisor is the bottom number, the denominator. You do not need to find the quotients. So we're just going through the motions here. We're not going to find the quotients. We're just going to convert. So it says the first one is completed for you. So they took 18.6 divided by 2.3 and put 18.6 over 2.3. The 0.3 is one decimal place, so we multiply by 10, giving us 186 over 23, and then rewriting it as a division problem. Okay? So I'm going to do that with this here. So I'm going to take 14.04 divided by 4.68. The first step is to make it a fraction. This is two decimal places. So I'm going to multiply by 10 times 10, or 10 squared. Okay, so if I now say, if this is 10 to the first power, that just simply means 10, 110. If I say 10 squared, that is 10 times 10, which is 100. If I said 10 to the third power, or 10 cubed, that is 10 times 10 times 10, which is 1,000. So the number here that's in our exponent tells us how many zeros there are. 2 zeros, 3 zeros. So when I come over here, I see two decimal places, so I need 2 zeros, so I'm going to multiply by 10 squared, which is equivalent to 100. I'm going to multiply by 100, top and bottom. Anything divided by 100 itself is 1, so I'm multiplying by 1 here, and I'm just moving the decimals of both. So multiplying by 100 moves the decimal 2 places, and I get 1,404. Move the decimal 2 places, and I get 468. So now my answer is 1,404 divided by 468. And that is, they said do not divide. Okay? Let's try that again. 0.162 divided by 0.036 times 1, 2, 3 decimal places, 1, 2, 3 zeros. We are going to multiply this by 1,000. Okay? When I do that, that will move the decimal 3 places and give me 162 in the numerator, and move this 3 decimal places and give me 36 in the denominator. So my answer is 162 divided by 36. Okay? Moving along. Example 2. Evaluate the expression, first convert. So we're doing what we did before, but now we're going to evaluate it. So I take 25.2 divided by 0.72. There are 2 decimal places, so I'm going to multiply by 1 and 2 zeros, top and bottom, and that will move the decimal 2 places, so I'd have to get a 0. So this would be 2,520 divided by 2 decimal places, 72. So it is 2,520 divided by 72. Now it says to use the division algorithm to find the quotient. The quotient is an answer when we're dividing. So I do this. And I ask myself, 72 goes into 2,520. 72 will not go into 2. 72 will not go into 25. But 72 will go into 252. It will go, 4 times maybe? 4 times 2 is 8, 7, 28. No, not 4. 7 times 4 is 28. 4 is too big, so we're going to use 3. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 7 is 21. Subtract. Break down, borrow from the 5, make that 4, make that 12. 12 minus 6 is 6. 4 minus 1 is 3. Bring down this 0. The 72 will go into 365 times. 5 times 2 is 10. 5 times 7 is 35. Plus this 1 that we carry over, 36. So 360 minus 360 is 0. So my answer is 30. Okay? Try that again. 2,000 divided by 3.2, step 1. The this is one decimal place, so I have to multiply by a 1 with 1 0, which is 10. 2,000 times 10 is 20,000. 3.2 times 10 is 32. So I'm really going to do 20,000 divided by 32. Division algorithm. Okay, 32 won't go into 2, 32 will not go into 20, 32 will go into 200 6 times. 6 times 2 is 12. Remember to carry that 1. 6 times 3 is 18, plus 1 is 19. Subtract. Okay. Borrow. 10 minus 2 is 8. Bring down my next 0. Bring down 0. 32 will go into 80 2 times. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 3 is 6. Subtract. Borrow from that, make it a 7. 10 minus 4 is 6. 7 minus 6 is 1. Carry down this 0. 32 goes into 160, or 3 goes into 16 5 times. 5 times 2 is 10. 5 times 3 is 15, plus this 1 is 16. 160 minus 160 is 0. My answer is 625. Okay, just put this away here. 3,581.9 divided by 4.9. First thing we do is write it as a fraction. Multiplied by however many decimal places. We only have one decimal place that we need to move the denominator. So it's times 10. This will give me the decimal over here. So it's going to be 358 over 40. So I'm going to use a division algorithm to solve and get the quotient. 35,819. 49 will not go into 35. 49 will go into 358. 6 times. 9 times 6 is 54. 6 times 4 is 24. Plus 5 is 29. Subtract, and I get 64. So, here's what happens here. Did I make a mistake there? I think so. Let me redo this. That number was bigger than what I was dividing by, so I didn't choose the right value for what I'm multiplying by here. So let me go back now and use 7. 7 times 9 is 63. 7 times 4 is 28, plus 6 is 34. Subtract and get 5, 1. 15 is less than 49, so we're okay. Bring down this 1. And 49 goes into 150 3 times. 9 times 3 is 27. 3 times 4 is 12, plus 2 is 14. Subtract. Borrow. 11 minus 7 is 4. 4 minus 4 is 0. Bring down the 9. 49 goes into 49 one time. My answer is 731. Okay, problem number 6. First step, 893.76 over 0.21. There are 2 decimal places, so I'm going to multiply by 100. And when I do that, it's going to move this over 2, become 8, 9, 3, 7, 6, over, it's going to move this over 2, 21. Okay. Now we're going to do the quotient algorithm, division algorithm. So we're going to take 89,376 and divide it by 21. So 2 will go into 20, will go into 80 4 times. 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. Subtract. Bring down 5. Bring down 3. 2 goes in, 20 goes into 50 2 times. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. subtract. 3 minus 2 is 1. 5 minus 4 is 1. Bring down my 7. 20 will go into 110. 100 5 times 6 would be too many. 5 times 1 is 5. 5 times 2, 10. Subtract. 7 minus 5, 2. 1 minus 0, 1. Bring down the 6. 126. 2 will go into 12 6 times. 6 times 1 is 6. 6 times 2, 12. Subtract. We do get 0 remainder. So our answer is 4,256. Okay, one more. Step 1, 6.194 divided by 0.326. I now have 3 decimals in the denominator, so I'm going to multiply by 1,000 over 1,000. And that is going to move each decimal 3 places. 1, 2, 3 would give me 6,194 over 1, 2, 3, 326. So take 326 divided, that's what we're dividing by. And we're dividing 6,194 by 326. 300 will go into 600 2 times, but 26 twice is 52, so that's too much. I'm going to go by 1. So 1 times 326, subtract 9 minus 6, 6 to 5, 11 minus 2 is 9, 5 minus 3 is 2, and I bring down my 33 goes into 29 7 times, is 21, 8 times 3 is 24, 9 times 3 is 27, so I'll try 9. 9 times 6 is 54. Remember to carry my 5. 9 times 2 is 18, plus 5 is 23, carry my 2. 9 times 3 is 27, plus 2 is 29. And 2,934 minus 2,934 is 0. So the answer to number 7 is 9. Okay. Example 3. A plane travels 3,625.26 miles in 6.9 hours. What is the plane's unit rate? Unit rate means 1. Unit means 1 in that. So when they say unit rate, they're asking how many miles per 1 hour is this plane flying. Okay, so we need to find out how fast this plane is going. So we're going to take that 3,625.26. We're going to put it over 6.9. Okay, represent this situation as a fraction. So there it is. Represent the situation using the same units. Okay, well now we want to call them units. So there are 6 and 9 tenths, or 69 tenths is my denominator. So I'm going to use tenths. So I take 3, 6, 2, 5, 2. 0.6. Now what I'm doing here is I have to move this decimal 1 place to get a whole number, so therefore this can only get moved 1 place. And that's why I have the decimal here. So that is going to be, and I'm going to call that tenths. And we're going to divide it by 69 tenths. Okay. Now it says to estimate the quotient. So we want to pick values. So the first thing I look at is 69. I want to round that up to 7. So I'm going to start with that number. And then I want to take 7 times something to get an integer, so I don't have decimals or fractions, because this is an estimate. And 7 times 1 is 7, 7 times 2 is 14, 7 times 3 is 21, 7 times 4 is 28, 7 times 5 is 35, and that's pretty close to this. So I'm going to make that 35,000. Okay, and that's my estimate. So now when I divide 35,000 by 7,000, or 70, I get 500 miles as an estimate. That's my estimate. The plane's going approximately 500 miles per hour. Okay. Now it says to express the divisor as a whole number. So now we're going to bring this problem down here, and it's simply repeated 3,625.26 over 6.9. we're going to multiply by 1 decimal place requires a 10. And that is going to give us 36252.6 over 69, which is really what we did here, and just didn't use the words tens. Now we're going to use the division algorithm to find the quotient, so it's the same as what we've been doing. Okay, we're going to take 36,252.6 and divide it by 60. Okay, so 69 will go into 362 5 times. 9 times 5 is 45. Okay, sorry about that. The bell rang, and so come back. Okay, so now 9 times 5 is 45, 6 times 5 is 30, plus 4 is 34. Subtract 6 minus 5 is 6, or we're going to borrow from 6, so that becomes a 5. We have 12 minus 5 is 7, 5 minus 4 is 1. Okay, bring down the 5. 69 goes into 175 2 times. 9 times 2 is 18. Carry the 1. 6 times 2 is 12, plus 1 is 13. Subtract 7 is 6. 15 minus 8 is 7. 6 minus 3 is 3. Bring down the 2. 69, 70 goes into 37 5 times. 9 times 5 is 45. Carry the 4. 5 times 6 is 30, plus 4 is 34. Subtract 4 from 7. 12 minus 5 is 7. 6 minus 4 is 2. Bring down the 6. 7 goes into 27. 4 times, I think. 4 be too much. 9 times 4 is 36. 3. 6 times 4 is 24, plus 3 is 27. And sure enough, that is the answer. So my answer is 525.4 miles per hour. Okay, my estimate was 500. I'm 525 exact. So you always have to check to make sure you were close on your estimation. Okay, and that is the end of lesson 14. Now go do your problem set.